Hello, everybody, and welcome to I think we're having technical difficulties on this, and I can't restart the show. So, hello, everybody, and welcome to Machtails from the Cantina Live, episode number 81. Man, you put all this fucking work into editing the intro. We haven't had the show intro in a long time, and StreamYard needs to get their tech stuff straight because they say that the file is too big. Hey, that's what she said. Hey, we got a great show for you guys tonight. We got brother Brian Klein on the show. We're going to be talking music. We have brother and show producer Matthew Rooney. We're going to be talking a little baseball. And we also have show producer and brother Cody Moore. We're going to be talking about the Maul TV show. Darkness Rises, Shadow Rises? See, I'm that far behind, but I did take in the trailer today. I've been staying away from the speculation and the rumors because that's not how I like to take in my Star Wars. But without any further ado, let's start the show with everybody talking a little Maul. Cody, welcome to the show, man.
Hey.
As always, and Matthew and Brian, thank you guys so much for not only producing the show, but for joining me on the show tonight. You guys have been producing the show now for a long time, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. And I really thank everybody for supporting the show that's been going on for 6 years now. I kind of struggle with it on a personal level. So if please, for those of you that are tuning in, there's a link there that you can join the show for free. And if you produce it, you can even join the show for free as well. So let's start off by talking about the new Disney Plus TV show. Can I call it a TV show if it's streaming? Is that technically what it's called? Television show?
It's called animated show.
Animated show. Okay.
Which, by the way, I never thought I'd be talking to you about a Star Wars animated show since you don't watch them.
Well, see, that's the power.
I know.
That is the power of a producer right there, because Cody said we need to talk about Maul. And look, I love Darth Maul, even with the Ray Park thing that we talked about on the show. The first time I met Ray Park, the first time I saw Darth Maul in '99, I fell in love with this character. I'm going to go into this watching the whole thing because after I got done watching Stranger Things, I was all ready to watch this Stranger Things animated series, which comes out in April as well, I believe. Isn't that right, Brian?
Yes.
Okay, so if I'm watching Stranger Things animation, I gotta watch this Maul streaming show. I have to. Cody, what is your first take on this? And what is your impression? And what are you hoping to get out of this? I want to start the show off on a positive note before me and Matthew turn down the animation part of it anyway. We do everything as positive as we can here on Mocktails from the Cantina. We are not part of the hater club that's out in the social media world there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited for it. I've been waiting for this show, and I know that Sam Witwer has been interested in doing a Maul show or a Maul spinoff since Clone Wars ended, and that Dave Filoni has had plans as well. And there's been some reporting coming out recently saying that he's basically carrying forward with some of George Lucas's original plans for what would have been his sequel trilogy. But just getting to see some of those concepts that are originally from George Lucas, to me, that's like a really cool thing that you get out of some of these animated shows that I don't think a lot of people value as much.
Now, obviously, you're a big fan of the character. Your middle name that you go by is Maul.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you feel like this show could let you down in any way? I know when the critics shit on some of the Jurassic Park films, you were like, hey, you're a big fan of that. You did not let that bother you. Can Maul do you wrong in any way?
I mean, based on what I've seen in the trailers, if it's anything like that and just expanded, I don't think it could. The animation looks like another step up from Bad Batch even. They just continue to make their animation just a little bit more refined each show, from End of Clone Wars to Bad Batch and then now this show. And the lightsabers look really, really cool in the trailer, at least. And with it being Maul, a dark side Force user, there's a little bit more mature tone to it that's, I think, going to be interesting to see how they balance that with it being animation.
Yeah, I really did love the use of the Duel of the Fates song, even though Duel of the Fates obviously is about Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul. But I did, when I heard that in the trailer, it brought me back to, the first time I saw Darth Maul. So I was like, okay, I can relate to this. I'm excited about this. One of John Williams' finest pieces of all the Star Wars music that he wrote, for sure. Brian, what about you, man? I know you like the Star Wars animation projects. Are you excited about this? Do you have any expectations about this show?
Not really, no.
Are you just?
No, I'm just kidding. Oh yeah, I'm totally We're not to do a shameless plug here, but we just recorded our primer episode on source pages for this, where we talk about the Son of Dathomir comic, which is so basically what happened, Chris, is in season 5 of Clone Wars, Maul got captured by Palpatine, then he escaped, and then at the end of Clone Wars season 7, the one that leads right up to like Order 66, Ahsoka pretty much lets him go. So now that's where we see him here. And yeah, I mean, I'm just, the only thing I have a little bit of trepidation about, and it's more just on a past, fool me once type thing. When you have a person that normally you root against as a bad guy as your focal character, he really can't be the protagonist. But I think this is one of those situations where it's like the enemy of my enemy type thing, because, they're dealing, him and the Jedi are both getting hunted by the Empire. But like you said, he's such a fucking cool character. It's, you got
he's kind of like the anti-hero, right? In that regard.
In a sense, he definitely has his own agenda out there, and we know from where he appears next. That's the one thing that, even though it came out in the prequels, when you do stuff that happens before, the characters' fates are already known, that they're going to survive this. So anytime like Obi-Wan was in trouble, or this, like the Battle of Geonos, they're going to survive. Darth Maul is going to survive everything that he goes through in this, because he's alive 10 years later in Solo. But even that says, when you're watching it, it's still like that level of, you sort of forget that sometimes. But with this, I mean, I'm just, from watching the trailers and stuff like that, I still don't know really what it's about, which is cool. I want to go into it blind because I know I'm going to love it. And like Cody says, the way that the animation style is now, I've been rewatching Bad Batch, and there's sometimes when I'm watching this going, this looks like I'm watching live action. It's so detailed. I mean, now when they get to the human characters, or the sentient characters, you can tell it's animation. But when they're doing like some of the spaceship shots and some of the other, like the nighttime things, it just looks
the terrain shots,
yeah,
especially.
It looks so good. So
yeah, it did look really, really sharp. But Matthew, now you told me a little bit that you have a different point of view on Star Wars animation as of late, possibly, or just overall. And what is your take on the Maul thing? Because I know you said that you didn't want to. At first, you were like, I don't know if I want to join the show. And oh my God, we're only going to talk a little bit about Maul because we got other things to talk about tonight. And you didn't want to, I guess you didn't want to get spoiled, spoiler alert kind of thing, spoiler free. But I wanted to get your take on animation, because I'm still not 101% sold. I would rather see God, I would rather see somebody replace Ray Park as Darth Maul and make a live action show. And I know brother Tyler Page just completely, maybe you guys do too, shit all over the AI stories, the fan fiction stories out there, the fan films, Star Wars fan films that are made with AI. But sometimes watching that, I like watching that because we're seeing stuff that is impossible to produce with actors, because we're seeing young Harrison Ford, young Luke Skywalker, young Mark Hamill, that sort of thing. I don't mind the AI stuff. I know there's a division there for sure. But how do you feel, Matthew, about this Maul animation show?
Well, I am excited to watch it. I mean, I've watched all the animated stuff and I generally like it. I think what I was telling you in text, or I didn't really tell you, but I kind of hinted at in text, is just that I haven't like been as excited about it as I was like, 10 or 15 or even I guess almost 20 years ago. Just because when Clone Wars first came out, it was like there was no more films, we thought at the time. And on top of that, like George was directly involved with it. So it was like more George Star Wars, which was cool. And I'm more into, Japanese anime. And so I like that style of animation a little bit better. So not that I don't appreciate the Star Wars animation, but it's not always been my cup of tea. And mostly I liked it just for the stories and for George's involvement. So I'm excited to watch it and I'm going to watch it, but I also haven't been looking at anything. I've kind of moved away from listening to any kind of like fan, Star Wars things aside from your show, just because I don't want to talk about speculation or listen to speculation. And in fact, I'm trying not to I haven't even watched the trailer or any material at all. I'm just going to go in and watch it. And I feel like that's a better experience, at least for me, is to go in and be surprised if it's really good. And then, I don't have expectations or things that I'm looking for that I can be disappointed about later on. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. It does look really good, and Bad Batch, every time they do a new show, it looks better and better. But I do feel, kind of like people get really hyped up over the animation, which is fine. But I also would rather see live action, like when they, tease at the end of Solo that they were going to have something coming afterward with Maul and with Kira. I was really excited for that because I liked the Solo movie a lot. And obviously this is a little earlier in the timeline, but it would have been nice to see Maul in live action again instead of animation. But of course, this is kind of continuing. They've been slowly moving through like the years after Revenge of the Sith with Bad Batch and with other shows. This is just kind of the next, logical step, I would say, in that transition.
Yeah, it's interesting that, because Bad Batch is fairly new, right? I mean, it came out small handful of years ago, but it's almost like comparing the Maul trailer anyway to the Bad Batch, and even how much that is improved through technology. It's kind of like watching an episode of The Simpsons now and going back 20 years and going, I mean, you can really tell the difference, and it's so, that's a cool thing about animation, is that it can still evolve and get better. And I think, Matthew, to the comment that you made, even though animation isn't necessarily for me when it comes to Star Wars, I think it's great that they can have a animated program or two or three and have the fans get excited about it, I think that's why I get so frustrated when people, see new Star Wars film. People freaked out over the Tauntauns in the fucking Mandalorian trailer, and I'm like, everybody relax, man.
That wasn't even a trailer. That was just an ad. That was like,
that was a spoof on an ad, right? And people got all bent out of shape, and I'm thinking, wow, I'm like, I'm excited about it. I don't know why everybody else isn't excited about it. And I don't want to shit on anything Star Wars. It's just that when it comes to animation, I know Brother Brad Riverdale loves the droid cartoons. Like I watch it, it just doesn't pull me in, Let me ask you guys this. Out of all the animation, Brian, I got to ask you this question first. Do you feel like I can watch Maul without going back? And don't lie to me, because I know you want me to. going back and watching all the Clone Wars episodes?
All of them? No. Honestly, if you haven't seen the last 4, where it pretty much hooks up with like it coincides with Order 66, and you see where Maul, how
he fights Ahsoka. I saw
right,
that.
Right. So all that stuff. I would say that you could sort of pick and choose some of the best ones to see the whole criminal syndicate thing that he, was running with the Shadow Collective and this and that. But other than that, not really. You don't have to watch all of them. And you already said you're not going to watch all of them. So
I never say never, but so again, people that did not watch the Clone Wars, they don't need to do a lot of homework to watch this new show that drops on April 6th.
I don't think so, because it pretty much is more like post Order 66. And I don't think there's probably going to be some throwbacks maybe or some callbacks to it, but I don't think it's going to be, it wasn't even that pertinent for like Bad Batch though. So there might be some more callbacks to Bad Batch because that's taking place simultaneous to this almost. So
the question that I wanted to ask you guys, and I'll start with Cody on this one, is out of everything that you've seen animated when it comes to the Star Wars franchise, what has been your favorite show?
I guess show overall, it has to be Rebels, just because I like its focus on one crew. And Clone Wars is a close second, but it just loses out for me because it's a little more of a broad focus, focusing on the whole war and kind of jumping around between storylines.
Yeah, I thought in Rebels too, when I watched the first 2 seasons, there was a lot of chemistry with the crew that I really liked. Not that you don't get that in animation all the time, but I think, I don't know. The thing about Rebels was when they brought in the old Star Wars music, it was to me that was more relatable and more. I connected with that more. I just cannot. I don't know what it's going to take to get over the Clone Wars hump. But in all fairness, somebody said go watch that Ahsoka Maul episode. This came out a handful of years ago, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to take your word for it. And I watched it, and it was fantastic. Like you said, Brian, it kind of dumps you right into the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because you pretty much did, I think in episode 3 of the 4, because it's a 4-episode story, is when Order 66 happens. And so you get to see them, why Ahsoka and Maul sort of have to not team up, but like she frees him and just is basically like, do what you do best and cause mayhem and just go, because she's trying to fight all the clones that are, going after her. But
now, Brian, what was your favorite Star Wars animation project?
I think I have the same thoughts like Cody does, is that Rebels it's so much more focused with that group, and you do get to, you basically make a better connection or a deeper connection with a lot of those characters. And I think it's been more flushed out with watching like Ahsoka season 1. So, and I think that's what they were trying to do too with the not often mentioned Resistance, which was that one that came out that was taking place during like the prequel or the sequel era. Their main problem there is that they had no idea what the storyline was going with it, and plus the animation style was it's a big departure for them. The story, I went back and rewatched both seasons, and it's not terrible. It's just doesn't have anything that the characters weren't as engaging. So that would definitely be last. So it would go Rebels, Clone Wars, Bad Batch, Resistance. And then honorable mention to Ewoks and Droids, but that's just a completely different thing because I was
just because it's old school, right?
Yeah.
And then, and I even thought that was cool that Disney even like finally re-released that on their platform.
But if you want to go like number one, the thing that I watched the most is the Tartakovsky Clone Wars. That is freaking incredible.
Yeah, that was great, and I loved watching that back then, and I have not watched that in a while, but those were short, sweet, to the point. And kind of animation.
Every week you got 3 minutes of that little right before. I mean, and it made you fear. I mean, it turned Grievous into a badass, man.
Yeah.
And when he was taking on all the Jedi, and oh my god! And then
Why? And I really like that style of animation too. And you know what? Maybe I'm a little biased too because I know the animator. I forget his name, but he actually is a Columbia College alumni as well. So there's some Chicago roots to him. But I loved it because it was more. The animation in that was more whimsical, I thought. Samurai Jack-ish. He did the same animation.
What about you? Tarkovsky did that. That was one of the main things that drew me to it because at the time he was doing Samurai Jack, and I loved that show. And so it's got that like feel to it too. So it had a combination of humor and just the balls out. I wish they would have brought the Dirge character from Gendy.
Yeah, Dirge, yeah.
He was badass too, but maybe they couldn't have him going alongside Grievous, and it would just be way too many things for them to try to tackle all at once. But
I gotta say, Rich, you were at home. You had too many gummies. This did not happen. Hey, Matthew, how about you, man? I know you're a big anime guy. I know Visions 1 and 2 was probably more in your wheelhouse than anything. Was that your favorite Star Wars animation project?
Yeah, I would say Visions season 1 and 3 were the Japanese ones, which I liked the best. And so, I mean, I watched all of it and it was all interesting. But what I like about it the most is just that it's not encumbered by all the canon. You know, that's one of the things I think over the years that's really frustrated me the most is that all these shows that come out, like everybody's obsessed with it fitting into the story and being canon, and that things can't contradict each other, which it's never going to happen. Like you're going to contradict stuff, and if you are focused on that more than telling a good story, then I feel like it's doing the material a disservice. So I like to watch Visions because they get to kind of do what they want to do, and they can take things that they like and they can leave out things that they don't need to have in there. And like I love the Ninth Jedi stuff in particular. Like I love how they have the lightsabers that change colors depending on who's holding it, and then I just like that stylized type of animation anyway. At least some of them. Like there's 2 or 3 that are really good that I like more than the others. But in general, I just love having those stories where the creators, you know, kind of have carte blanche to do what they want to do and to, you know, show off their talent, and it's really fun.
Yeah, one of the ones you're talking about you love is that Stormtrooper fever dream to end season 3, right? That one was just. I'm super excited too about. We could probably have another show coming. I think it's dropping in the fall. Is that the Ninth Jedi season or extended run of? I think they're doing what they say 6 or 8 episodes to continue that story because they did that in season 3. I loved how they picked out the ones that they liked in the first season and then continued them in season 3. Especially the Ronin one. So that's Visions is one too. Like Matthew said, is that it's a great just departure with that same like the leash is let go and you don't have to be beholden to anything out there. So.
All right, hey, we're going to do this a little ESPN style where they have the schedule on the right-hand side. Pardon the interruption. We are going to end Cody Moore's time, but before we leave, Cody, as we move on to talk about baseball, we got the trifecta tonight for sure. We're going to talk baseball. We're going to talk music. Cody, I know you're excited about ICC-Con. Obviously, a father now. I'm assuming you're bringing the kid. It's Father's Day. It's your first Father's Day. What are you looking forward to most about this awesome convention that I am still on the fence simply because I want to spend the day with my daughter, and I know my daughter does not want to hang out at ICC. So I'm 50-50 right now. I do want to go, but I want to be with my daughter. How about you? Where are you going to be? What are you looking forward to most? Great lineup too, by the way, especially since you didn't go to Rebel Scum Con in August. They have a lot of those guys making the rounds. So there's a lot to look forward to here.
Yeah. I think there's still probably going to be quite a few to be announced too, because we still got a few months.
Yeah, and it seems like the guest list right now is, I want to say it looks a little incomplete, you know?
Yeah, I feel like the last 3 or 4 years at least that they've released guests all the way up until almost a month before. But I'm excited. It'll be my first time taking, my son Lucas, and he's named after, the maker himself, George Lucas. And then my partner Riley, he'll be there as well. So that'll be cool. All three of us, and then you met my stepfather Gustavo before. He's going to be there as well. And then my mom's actually going to make the trip as well this time to help out with Lucas. So we'll all be there.
And plus, you get to reunite with a lot of friends that have become family now, you know?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people that it'll be cool to, check back in with.
The millisecond that Duncan Powell, the actor, some of you guys might not know, that's the actor that played Melshi. Soon as he's announced, I am there. I'm blowing out Father's Day with my daughter. I'm like,
you're turning in your daughter for Melshi?
Yeah.
I thought you were Melchi.
As soon as he's there, I will be there, because that guy, he's actually openly said it when Jedi News UK, when they had talked to him about doing conventions, he's like, hey, anybody invites me to a convention, I am not going to say no. So if I got to bring him there myself, so be it.
Yeah, you might have to.
Man, I'll start that petition. I'll start that petition up saying we need Melshi. We want Melshi. That way we can get another one of these, get another ICCC Machtails poster, an updated one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, Cody, thank you so much for joining the show, man. Yeah. And we will we will hopefully see you sooner than later, man. Thanks again for producing the show as well. All right, we're going on to baseball. I know Cody's a basketball guy. He's not a baseball guy. So I did want to talk about the baseball season. Matthew, you're the one that picked this one, kind of like Cody picked, talking about Shadow Lord. So I'm going to have you start this off. 2026 season had started. Your Dodgers had won back-to-back World Series championships. I know. You're tired of the hate in the baseball chat group about the Dodgers.
I haven't looked at it this year yet. I haven't looked at it lately, so out of mind. I'm having a good time.
So what's your take on the start of the season? And this is kind of crazy, right? Because there's baseball happening right now, and here we are doing. Hey, we have a commitment here. Tomorrow's the last day of the month. I got band practice tomorrow. We definitely needed to get a live Mocktails show in. For
Cubs are up 4-0. So
Cubs are up 4-0. That's a good start against the Halos.
Yeah,
my game doesn't start for another hour, so I'm good.
Yeah, we're on California time with you, right? All right. So, what's your take on the first three games and Dodgers record? Give it to me.
Yeah, I just wanted to, like you had said, what do you want to do? And I'd love to give like my top three moments from like the opening weekend. The Dodgers had the day off yesterday, so there was no game, but they had their World Series, opening day where they put the banner up, and then they had their ring ceremony the second night. And so I kind of wanted to, since I assume people aren't watching it from your community, since I'm the only Dodger guy, I just wanted to show some stuff that I thought was cool that you all might appreciate.
You never know, though. I know brother Wistock. I know he chimes in from time to time. He's a huge Dodgers fan.
Okay. So my first one is they announced, so on the opening night, they introduced all the players. They came through the back, like through the curtain with the stage.
This is on the field.
This is on the field. So they called Freddie, and Freddie didn't show up. And the announcer was like, "Freddie Freeman, where are you?" And then they continued on. And they got to Miguel Rojas, and it was the same thing. Like neither of them came up when they were supposed to. And then they cut to like a pre-record where they had Will Ferrell, who's driving that car. He's in the back, like with the two. Yeah. So he's in the back with the two trophies, and he's doing the, he has the champagne and he's celebrating by himself. And then Freddie and Miguel show up and say, "Hey, I think we need those." And then Will Smith offers to drive them in his Cadillac, which is all, decked out in Dodger colors and decorations. So that was really fun because they had this kind of skit, where they were absent. And at first you were like, what's going on? Why aren't they? Are they okay? And then they showed up in the skit. And so it was kind of cool.
And you got to have this. I mean, this is as close to Hollywood as you can get.
Yeah. My
Plus,
second
Will
my
Ferrell's
second
involved.
is so we have Edwin Diaz now, who's our closer, and I don't know if you're familiar, but he famously will come in and they play this narco music with the trumpet when he comes in to save the game, which he did when he was in New York as well. And so they started doing it here as well. Yeah, he was on the Mets until this year. He was the Mets
I know
closer.
this song, but I know this song, but you don't want to hear me hum it.
Okay. Well, anyway, they would have it play like when he came up to warm up, they would play this song with the trumpet. And so the Dodgers hired this gal. She's a local, like Long Beach, trumpet player and band leader. And so they had her live night 2 and 3. Edwin had to come in to close the game, and so they had her playing it live on the trumpet in the back, and it was just totally badass. And it was the cool. Like usually in between innings, they go to commercial break, but when it's between the 8th and 9th inning and it's Edwin Diaz coming up, they like go over to him and they follow him out to the music. And so you get this long dramatic thing that's pretty sweet. And I really enjoyed it. And the third game was even cooler because the Dodgers were down the whole game, and then Will Smith hit a home run in the bottom of the 8th. And so it was like instantly Edwin was ready to go, and they brought the trumpet out, and it was really cool.
That's awesome. I feel
and then my final one, which people will probably really hate, is they had the ring ceremony on the second game, and so they had everybody come out and they say this is their second or third ring, and they talk about their accomplishments. And then Kershaw retired at the end of last year, and he's working a little bit for NBC, like he did the opening night game as a commentator on NBC, which he did a great job at. And then the second night, they gave all the rings out, and Kershaw wasn't included because he's retired. And then they announced Oral Hershiser was going to come throw the first pitch. Oral Hershiser is my favorite player of all time from the 80s and 90s Dodgers. And then Joe Davis, the announcer or the TV guy, said, "Hey, Oral, I need you up here. Like, what are you doing down there?" And then asked Dave Roberts, "Do you have somebody else who can do the first pitch?" And then Doc says, "Yeah, we have a lefty." And they bring out Kershaw, and they had his music that he warms up to normally, so it was really emotional. Like I was getting kind of choked up watching it. And then he went out to throw the first pitch, and then all the guys came out behind him and had his ring, like the whole team behind him. So he got to get his ring and do pictures together, and it was just really emotional and awesome because he was with the team for 18 years and he's gone now. And so just to hear that music one more time and to have him out there was really cool, and I loved it.
Yeah, it sounds like Andrew Friedman is kind of taking some of the Joe Madden magic from the Tampa Bay Rays fun culture, and bringing it over at least for the start of the season here. I think that it's a lot of fun stuff to look forward to. And the cool thing is that I saw Freddie Freeman. I sent you the photo this morning, and you got a kick out of that. You're like, yeah, that was funny when you saw it live. It was actually on the WGN Morning News. He was running to second base, and guy from the Diamondbacks was just like,
Ketel Marte.
Yeah, come and give me a hug.
Yeah, he was on first, and Will Smith hit it right to Marte, who was right in Freddie's path. And so he just turned to Freddie, and Freddie just kind of walked up and hugged him because it was the end of the inning. It was the third out. So it was funny.
Even if the Dodgers don't win another World Series in a long time, it's like to win back to back, and the fact that Kershaw was retiring after that too.
Yeah.
Like you said, he was on the team for 18 years. Brian, how you feeling about the Cubs? I know they're up now. I know they started like the Rays. The first 3 games, they were 1-3. Opening day, I almost went to. It was 11 o'clock in the morning. It was 75 degrees. By game time at 1:20, the wind chill was 48. I said, that's exactly why I didn't go.
I've been to Cubs games in April where it snowed.
I've been to Cubs games in May when it snowed, man.
No, seriously, it was my friend Rob's. It was 2005. My friend Rob's bachelor party, and his brother-in-law or future brother-in-law from Arizona came in, and he's not used to that cold, so he went and bought a pair of Cubs socks from the store and used them as mittens. And after about the third inning, we just decided to go. It's a bachelor party. We just went across the street to Murphy's, and
it was that cold.
It was that. Yeah, it was snowing. I mean, we were sitting behind home plate, and we couldn't see the center fielder. So they were playing Pittsburgh on a Saturday.
Oh, because it was just blowing.
The
like
snow
that.
was coming down that hard. And they ended up playing the whole game, but you know what? It is, you really can't judge anything really the first, weekend, month, really. I mean, unless some guys keep getting, being look what happened to Skeens, his first game.
Yeah, opening day, man.
Never happened. I mean, he didn't even last the first inning. And last year he only had one time where he didn't. The Cubs knocked him around one game where they scored like 5 and 2 1/3. And that was the worst outing he's ever had. And I just think it has to maybe just do from, the WBC does take a lot out of you. I mean, Boyd looked terrible for the Cubs. And yesterday, Shota was, but it's still early. I'm not, pushing the panic button after the opening game series. I mean, it's Washington. They're supposed to be really bad, but, I think the Cubs will be, they'll be a solid team. They've got too much, especially on offense. If you remember last year, they were winning games 14-12, and they were like football scores almost for a while. And then everyone in the second half decided not to hit. But I mean, I'm fine with it.
It's funny. I always remember the 2011 Tampa Bay Rays season. They were fucking horrible. They started 0-6. 0-6. Joe Madden, that was when Joe Madden came out to they were playing the White Sox. It was probably like the seventh game, or maybe that was the sixth game. And he started ejecting all the umpires. He was so pissed off. And that's a team that went to the postseason that year. So that always painted the picture for me and to me, like, hey, you could start off a little slow, but man, there's 162 games,
Yeah. Baseball is way too long. I mean, even look at last year at the All-Star break, Milwaukee was like 8 games out of first, and they won.
Oh, by a landslide.
29 out of like 32 games or something out of the All-Star break. So, it all depends. I mean, it's fun to watch it now, and it's fun to see some guys play just to see how they do. Although it wasn't fun last night watching Owen Casey hitting a walk-off home run for the Marlins. It's like, he's the guy. He was the Cubs prospect that they traded to get who's pitching it, Cabrera. I mean,
Owen Casey. Yeah. He was a Cubs top prospect for sure.
Yeah, he hit the walk-off homer for Florida yesterday, or Miami yesterday, to win. So, but to see stuff like that, it's like, but you want to see them succeed, even though, the Cubs right now, they've got so much depth all over the place. Like I mentioned in our group, I go, with the way that Hap's been on fire recently, I go, he's going to be a free agent after this season. I don't think the Cubs are going to re-sign him because they've got too many guys. They just tied up PCA he's going to be at least 7 more years. We've got enough young guys coming up that I don't think they're going to throw money at Hap. So some team is going to overpay for him to go do whatever, because he's still got some, life left in the tank. But I mean, I'm just happy it's back. This is one of those times right now where we've got everything. This past weekend, I was between doing that and watching the NCAA tournament, and we still got, Blackhawks are playing. I don't give a crap about the NBA anymore, but because it's not even the NBA like we're used to. And then just having football stuff. It's just one of those times right now. There's just so much out there to grab your attention. But yeah, having baseball back is it's fun. It just signifies that summer's around the corner. Which, if here in Chicago, it got to 86 degrees here today, where the other day, like last Monday, it was 16 degrees.
No, and Wednesday it's going to be 40 degrees is the high. So
yeah, exactly. And there's a possibility of snow again. So
it's unbelievable. Matthew, you got any minor league teams by you? I remember you saying you go to minor league.
Yeah, I'll go to the Little Rock that is the Arkansas Travelers, and they're in the same AA. It's the Texas League with the Dodgers AA team. So I'll go when the Dodgers AA team, the Tulsa Drillers, play them. I'll go and watch the Drillers play them and cheer for the Drillers.
That's cool. So you might not get to Dodger Stadium, but you still at least get to see the Dodgers franchise because they're playing AA.
Yeah, I would like to get to a major league game. I mean, because Dallas is like 5 hours. Like Dallas is probably the closest to me. The closest they're playing this year is St. Louis, which is like 6 hours.
Man, I got to
So,
tell you,
I mean, I could go, but it's sort of like an overnight trip. So we'll see.
I went to the World Baseball Classic. Tyler and I went, and I got to tell you, man, I went to Miami, saw 8 games in 4 days. It was my second time there in Miami. That is a cultural experience. It is absolutely amazing to experience. I got to say, just on a cultural level, it's probably blows Texas or Arizona WBC hosting out of the water. I guess it depends what you're into. And I always say I don't get political, but I gotta at least make a little analogy here. Brother Tyler Page was not super thrilled about Team USA winning, and I understand that. We saw Venezuela. Venezuela is a great team. I was happy for them. The other day, there was a No Kings rally down the street from my house, and it made me realize that it is not anti-USA what's happening right now. There were some people that had signs that said pro-USA, anti-Trump. And I was like, okay, this is the division here. I think this is painting the picture that it's very hard for some people to be patriotic right now, such as rooting for Team USA. And I get that 100%, 101%. But when you see people saying, no, we love America, we love the USA, we're just not happy about what's going on right now. I think that it's nice to see that. And
you know what, though? There's 2 different types of people. There's Americans and there's Americans. That's the thing, really. So I'm an American. I love my country. I love the stuff that we have here. I just fuck Trump and this current bullshit. I mean, this is just, like I said, you don't get political, but it's just.
I think we just did.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding with, it's, I don't know, it's a whole different thing.
I did see a really, really intellectual interview with Robert De Niro, and I did see a really good intellectual interview with David Byrne from the Talking Heads. And it makes you think. It makes you think, and it makes you, like you said, Brian, we're not anti-Americans. But anyways, speaking about America, I did not have the balls to go to Wrigley Field because of the temperature drop, but I am heading to Tropicana Field for the Rays grand reopening day. This is what the Trop looked like from the hurricane back in 2025. It was closed, 2024. It was closed entirely last year. And not only did they spend, I want to say $55 million renovating this ballpark, even though the team is moving, they're not demolishing the Trop. They've rebuilt it. And there's a photo of it in its progress. Obviously, it's well beyond that because opening day in Florida is on Monday. But they're playing the Cubs. And I got to tell you, man, I am so excited to see my 2 favorite teams on opening day in climate-controlled weather at the grand reopening of one of my favorite ballparks. The Rays did start off losing to the Cardinals, and I know as a Cubs fan too, that is always like a double burn, right? But they had 41 hits and 23 runs in 3 games. They did set some records, some team records during those games as well. So I don't know a lot of people that are on the Rays because they are essentially, in a complete rebuild. They got rid of so many people. But I'm just excited to see baseball. Like you said, Brian, ready to see baseball. 162 games. I know you said it's too long. I don't think it's long enough.
I think it's too long. It's just that it's long. The season is long. It
is very long. It's
a marathon.
It's
a marathon.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. So you don't want to start off 12-0.
Which is why there will be never. I mean, I think right now the most unbreakable record no one will ever get close to Ripken's record for consecutive games played. There's not a chance.
No,
There's not a I mean,
no,
not even
no
close.
way in hell.
Because I think right now the current person is like at 500, which is like 3.5 seasons or something like that. It's like you got a long way to go to get to 2006, whatever.
And
it
it's
was.
also just like a different attitude nowadays where they pay a lot more attention to people's health and don't want to, run them into the ground like they did back in the day.
There's not a lot of there are bulldogs, there are workhorses out there, but it is different than it was back in the day. But yeah, beating Ripken's record for consecutive games is going to be impossible. I am looking forward to hitting a lot of minor league parks this year. I only have one more park left to hit when it comes to the major leagues. It's the Red Sox. I am taking my time getting there. I will hit that park eventually, but in the meantime, I'm looking forward to cheaper beers and cheaper tickets, seeing Cubs and Rays minor league ballparks this year on the road. Speaking about on the road, let's move on to music. Brian, I'm going to start with you on this one. You said that you got the triple bill alert about Weezer, and you used the term "you almost creamed your pants." Did I remember that correctly?
Oh yeah, because that show, when I saw Weezer was the one that announced it, and I'm like, this is great. But it's a co-headlining with the Shins, who are like one of my top 5 favorite bands of all time. When we just did our So Weird, So Fun episode of underappreciated bands.
And that was one of them.
Shins were one of them. They're just, I mean, and then and Silver Sun Pickups are pretty good too.
Yeah, I've always liked that band.
But to have that lineup there, it's just because I go to shows now. Like I even said, I'm a former concert junkie. I've been to, I think the last time I looked, it was roughly around 1,500 concerts, like actual, like ticketed Ticketmaster concerts. And it's this year I've got
it's not the digital tickets.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about like shows of bands, like local shows when I was playing in a band, but even back then when I was in a band, if I wasn't playing on Saturday or Friday nights or whatever, I'm going downtown in 94, 95, 96. I was heading into the city to go to the Metro, the Vic, the Riv, the Aragon, the UIC about 4 times a week. Literally. And this is when I go back and look at ticket stubs, and I've some of the bands that I've seen that were like, $8 to go see Counting Crows, or, it's just amazing. And now it's, if it wasn't for the fact, I think between that and the only thing I have an actual ticket for this year is obviously I'm not going to miss Rush playing, which by the way, I don't know if you saw, they performed last night at the Junos, and the first time they were out together.
Yeah, and they were actually included in the show intro, but I'm realizing the show intro did not play because I rendered it in 4K. I think that's why it did not stream.
You blame StreamYard for that too.
I can blame StreamYard for that, absolutely. But I am going to post that on Patreon, the show intro, since I took the time to compile it. Now, Brian, I do want to talk to you about the performance last night. I don't mean to sound like a Star Wars fan here by any means, but I got a couple of complaints, and the complaint is not on the drummer.
No.
They were playing the song off the first record.
The first song off the first record.
First song off the first record. They show an image of Neil Peart. I'm thinking,
I know what they're okay. They're not going to show John Rutsey. They're not going to show.
But they're celebrating that. They should include everything because they respected him. It was their choice to leave the band, and right. I think because it's 50-something tour, so it's all encompassing of their entire career. Mm-hmm. I would have liked to see.
I think they did say that there was one still shot of the 3 of them from the promotional tour, promotional shots for the first album on the screen. We just happened to see when they focused on the tribute to Neil.
Okay, fair enough.
It was everybody.
We only saw part of it.
But the thing was that they picked that song out like Friday because the guys that they said, here's a list of songs. What do you want us to play? And they go play the first song off the first record. So they're like, cool. And I tell you what, Finding My Way is a great song. The typical thing that people
appropriate
thought,
too.
Right. It could have been that. It could have been Working Man. Most people thought, hey, it could have been, Tom Sawyer, because that's the one that most people know of. But the fact that they did that, and I also love to see, if you've seen some of their promotional things too, where he was talking about the reunion, is that they hired a full-time keyboardist because Getty wants to be able to run around the stage, so him and Alex can have synchronized dance contests and stuff together. And I'm like, I don't want to see that because someone's going to break a hip or whatnot. But
right.
seeing them just out there, I could tell you, I don't know if you saw them. I saw them 6 times on the Clockwork Angels tour. And the thing I noticed most,
saw them 3 times.
Okay.
That was it.
Getty's voice live was starting, because he did do so much high singing. And when you get older, you know, your vocal cords start to loosen up and you can't literally get that high without, you either have to drop an octave or do like John Bon Jovi does and just have the crowd sing the high parts of songs where you can hit it. Right. But he sounded good. He sounded, there was parts where he did do the octave drop. He was still in tune and stuff like that in the right key. But there was times when I saw them on Clockwork Angels where he was straining to hit that, but they haven't, done anything in 12 years. So the fact that they're pushing they're in their 70s now. So the fact that they're doing this full on, what started off was supposed to be a few dates here and there. Like the United Center was 2 and now it's 4 or 6 dates. And I think
it's 6. I think it's 6 dates.
Yeah. And but that's what I was going to say was like, I got lucky. I got 2 tickets for I've been in the Rush fan club since 83, since I was 10 years old.
Oh my God.
And they gave me a code. They gave me a code when tickets went on sale. Before they went on sale, I got tickets, unbeknownst to me that it was a BOGO too. So I got 2 tickets. It cost me $600 because they were $600 tickets. So instead of costing me $1,200, it cost me $600.
Oh, there's a buy one, get one ticket.
Right, just because of the fan club, they basically rewarded me for being a fan for the 40-some years.
Wow, that's amazing.
But other than that, I've seen people complain. No more of those days. I remember back in even going to get them tickets back when I saw them on the Roll the Bones tour at Alpine Valley. And my brother and I camped out at Carson Perry Scott. It was Ticketron, second person in line. Me and him were second row center at Alpine Valley.
Oh, wow.
And that was when they weren't categorizing, where the tickets were. And like now front 2 rows are $5,000 and this and that. And so no more of that stuff. I used to love camping out and getting that. And then they went to the lottery system.
Back in the day, the front row ticket was the same as the last row ticket price.
Yeah. So, it's a lot better than having to go and I remember getting tickets for, the only one I was ever nervous about ever getting tickets for was when Nirvana came out for the Utero, which was their follow-up to Nevermind, and they only played 2 shows at the Aragon. Now the Aragon only holds 4,500 people. They could have played 2 shows at the time. When was this? 94. So that would have been Chicago Stadium. Still, no, that would have been United Center then. But they decided we're going to play a smaller show. I'm like, oh shit, we might not get tickets for this. We ended up going there, get the lottery. One of the 6 of us, we got 6 tickets, got the first ticket. We got our tickets. So we got to go see Nirvana. So, but other than that, nowadays, it's just like either the bots get them or they're so expensive that it's like, it's not even worth it. So,
yeah, for sure. Well, you definitely shined some light on my feelings about Getty's voice. I've always been a fan of Getty's voice. I know he does sing a lot higher. And when I saw him on the performance last night, I was like, wow, but he was in tune. He was in key. He just dropped the octave. And I'm not used to that. And I miss Getty singing high. And I know some people, I know that was kind of a turnaway for a lot of people that did not like the band. Or like, I just don't like Getty's voice. I've always loved Getty's voice. I got to get used to him singing at a lower octave. Now, Matthew, you have some shows that you want to attend. That you're going to attend coming up, yeah?
Well, I'm going to one show, and I'm in Arkansas, as people probably know, which means
there's
not much.
And I see the photo in the green room there. We're all going.
There's not much, but they're actually. So yeah, Claypool is actually playing in Arkansas at the Walmart Amphitheater. As you might know, Walmart is based in Arkansas, but it's in Fayetteville, which is like the opposite corner. Of the state from me. But
we're going to that show too, so I forgot.
Don't be late. Yeah. All these bands, Frog Brigade,
Yeah.
Claypool, Lennon,
Mhm.
all, man, it's going to be a night of less just.
Well, yeah,
swinging
but
a stick
they're
on-
they're
Well,
doing
my-
they're doing what they did with when they were playing with Piece of
Tool
Fire
and Christopher, right?
right, where they literally all the guys will be on stage at one time and they're all playing for 3 hours. So it's not like
Yeah.
Frogway is playing, then Cutting Lennon, then Primus. It's just all of them are out there.
It's going to rotate.
Well, my girlfriend wanted to buy these tickets, and so we actually bought like the gold. There's like a gold pass you could buy where you can also go. They have like some kind of underground place where you can go to that has special food, and maybe you can meet some of the band members and stuff. So she bought those like fancy tickets. So I don't go to shows very much. I haven't been to a concert in years. And to be honest.
This
So
show
I'm
is going to
excited.
blow your mind, man. It's going to blow.
Yeah,
your
and I mean,
mind.
I've been a Primus fan since I was like 10 years old. Like when I first heard, Too Many Puppies, I was like obsessed from then on. And so I'm really excited to finally see them. And then I want to see, I'm probably not going to, but Tori Amos has a new album. It's coming out May 1st, and she's touring. I really would like to see her, but I'd have to go to Dallas for that. And I don't know if we're going to Rebel Scum Con, I'll be going to Dallas already like a month later. So I'm not sure if I want to see that as well, but I would like to see her because I've liked her since the mid 90s as well.
I feel like she hasn't toured in a while. Yeah.
I'm not sure about that. I see live stuff of her all the time, but I'm not sure when the last time she toured was.
It's always a bonus when the concert date times up with the trip that's already planned.
Yeah, that would have been nice. But yeah, it's like a month before we're going to be probably doing Rebel Scum Con. So, oh well.
Yeah. Now, Brian, you brought something to my attention, and thank you for this, because this was not on my radar, but I bought a ticket immediately when you told me about it. The Iron Maiden documentary coming out.
Oh yeah,
and obviously taken from the B-side. From way back when. I can't remember what it's the B-side of. I saw it earlier today.
Oh, Birmingham Dish. It's oh my god.
It stumped us both.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not Golden Years, but it's anyways.
Yeah, so the title is a deep cut Iron Maiden song B-side from the early 80s.
The 80s, yeah.
And the trailer, man, looked amazing. Yeah, brother Brad and I bought tickets immediately, and it looks like it's probably already sold out by now. This comes out, I want to say this comes out like probably in the next 2 weeks, sometime. And to follow up with that, Maiden, speaking about somebody that still has their voice, Bruce Dickinson, Iron Maiden is on tour. I would love to see them with Megadeth and Anthrax, but I think the Chicago date only has
just Anthrax, yeah.
Just Anthrax, which I'm still excited to see. I haven't seen those guys in a long time. Actually, the first time I saw Iron Maiden in 91, Anthrax opened up for them. But again, this is a tour to not be missed. Brian, you agree? Have you seen the set list on this?
Oh yeah, and especially because if you see it, it's all the stuff before. They're only playing stuff from the albums up until Bruce left in 94. So it's Fear of the Dark is the last album, which was actually, no, that was 92.
Yeah, 92. Yeah.
It's just all their early stuff, which I like their more recent stuff, but it's definitely like a deep cut for like the fans that were into them in the 80s. But that gives you the chance to hear them play like Rime of the Ancient Mariner or stuff that they don't normally play live.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tend to, because I remember when we saw them in what was that, 2019? When we saw them at in Tinley, and I'm like, oh my God, they're doing Blaze stuff. They're doing some of the stuff that Blaze was singing and that Bruce never sang before. And I think that's kind of like it goes into it now where I'd rather go into a show not knowing what the set list is, because there's a lot of times these heritage bands will play the same set list. Like Rush, I think they said they'll do 4 nights. They're going to change it up, but they're only going to be able to pick from like 40 songs because they can't learn all the new songs. But where Iron Maiden, they play the same set every night because they got to have it lined up with all the theatrics. You know, like if Aces High is playing, they got to be able to drop the airplane down and, you know, all that stuff. Certain songs where Eddie comes out and does, you know, his thing. So,
well, one band that I'm fortunate enough to see, I've seen them so many times. I'm seeing them 4 times this year. They just dropped a new song on. They just dropped a new song. I use Amazon Music for my streaming, but Modest Mouse. These guys do a different set list every night. So I cannot wait to see these guys 4 times in probably a month's span. Brian, I'm sure you've seen Modest Mouse a lot.
Oh
The
yeah,
new song, I liked it. What you
Yeah.
got any thoughts on it?
they're one of those things where it's like they have a history of having superb lead singles off their albums, Dashboard and just stuff when it comes out, and then that's what's usually the most publicly palatable stuff, because they do have some stuff that once you get into the deep cuts on some of the albums, it's just like
But that's the good stuff.
Isaac is just going full on balls to the wall.
Right.
So, and some of that stuff is cool. Like you said, I think one of your favorite songs isn't Spitting Venom. One of your favorite songs of
Yeah,
theirs.
Spitting Venom, yeah.
But when it's got that weird, like the syncopated stuff, and then it kicks in with the rock, where it's like, oh my God, it like hits you like a ton of bricks in the chest. I love that.
Right. That's a good way to put it. I'm assuming you're going to go see them in Chicago. Hopefully.
I'm planning on it, but don't forget I'm like an hour and a half from Chicago now too. So
Yeah, for sure. Well, you always got a place to stay. Hey, I want to thank you guys for producing the show tonight. Again, we had some technical difficulties with the opening segment there, and I do want to just ask you guys to click that link in the description of tonight's show and join for free. And maybe you guys can produce the show as well. There's always room for more people here. I guess we don't want the show to get too big, because then we're going to lose a little bit of that intimacy, and we're going to probably end up bringing in some of that negativity that us Star Wars fans don't really like. So, hey, I'm your show host, Chris Mock. Again, I want to thank my show producers, Matthew Rooney, Brian Klein, and Cody Moore, for joining in on the show. And we will catch you guys next time on another episode of Mocktails from the Cantina Live. So long, everybody.